You're not fishing for fun anymore. You're fishing because if you don't catch something, you don't eat. No rod, no tackle box, no live bait. Just moving water in front of you and a decision to make. Most civilians would panic in that situation. They'd start casting randomly, burning energy they can't afford to lose. But military survival training teaches something completely different. It teaches you how to turn almost nothing into a working food system. How to let the river work for you instead of fighting against it. Simple traps, primitive tools, passive methods that catch fish while you conserve strength for shelter, fire, and water. Because in a real survival scenario, energy is currency. Every calorie you burn has to come back with interest. These aren't sport fishing tricks. These are survival systems designed to keep you alive when there's no backup coming. And once you understand them, you'll realize you never needed half the gear you thought you did. Let's start with the first method. Method 1. The bottle funnel trap. Most people walk past a plastic bottle on the ground and see trash. In military survival training, that same bottle is seen as a passive food collection device. The bottle funnel trap is powerful because it works while you rest. You're not standing there casting for hours. You're not burning calories you can't afford to lose. You're building a system that hunts for you. Start with any plastic bottle. The larger, the better. A 2-liter soda bottle is ideal, but even a standard water bottle can work. Cut off the top third of the bottle right where it begins to narrow. Keep both pieces. Take the top portion and flip it upside down so the neck faces downward into the bottom half. Slide it back inside. What you've just created is a one-way funnel. Fish can easily swim in through the wide opening, but once inside, they struggle to find the small exit hole again. It's the same principle used in professional fish and lobster traps. Next, punch small holes around the body of the bottle. This step is critical. The holes allow water to circulate freely and, more importantly, allow scent from your bait to spread into the surrounding water. Without water flow, the trap becomes invisible to fish. Add a few small rocks or pebbles inside so the trap sinks and stays stable on the bottom. You don't want it floating or rolling in the current. Now for bait. Survival isn't about perfect bait, it's about available bait. Crushed insects, worms, bread, berries, small scraps of food, even mashed snails can work. The goal is scent dispersion, not presentation. Drop the bait inside the trap. Secure the funnel if possible using cordage, thorns, or small sticks, and tie a line to the body so you can retrieve it easily. Placement is everything. Look for shallow water between 1 to 4 feet deep near vegetation, rocks, fallen branches, or shaded banks. These areas act as cover for small bait fish. Set the trap on the bottom and walk away. This is where civilians usually fail. They check too soon. In survival, patience saves energy. Give it at least 20 to 30 minutes. Minnows and small fish follow scent trails. They swim through the funnel, feed, and then become disoriented. Instead of finding the narrow exit, they circle the outer wall of the bottle. When you return and lift the trap slowly, you'll often find multiple baitfish inside with almost no effort spent. This method isn't flashy, it's not exciting, but it's efficient. And in a survival situation, efficiency is what keeps you alive. Method 2. The gorge hook. When most people think about fishing, they think about metal hooks. Sharp, barbed, factory-made hooks designed for sport. But in a true survival situation, you may not have one. That's where the gorge hook comes in. One of the oldest and most reliable fishing methods ever used. Long before modern tackle existed, Indigenous hunters and survivalists used this exact principle to secure food. And it's still taught in military survival training for one simple reason: it works when nothing else does. The gorge hook doesn't look like a hook at all. It's just a small, straight piece of material about 1 to 2 inches long. Traditionally, it was made from bone, hardwood, or even thorn. In a survival situation, you can carve one from a sturdy stick. The key is strength and smoothness. Sharpen both ends to tapered points, but don't make them brittle. You want them sharp enough to grip internally, not snap under pressure. Once carved, tie your fishing line tightly around the exact center of the stick. The knot must be secure, because all tension will focus on that midpoint. In a survival setting, your line could be made from paracord inner strands, braided plant fibers, or even carefully twisted threads from clothing. The stronger and thinner the line, the better your hook will function. Now comes the critical part: bait concealment. The gorge hook must be completely hidden inside the bait. This is different from a traditional hook, where the point is exposed. With a gorge hook, you embed the entire stick lengthwise inside something the fish will swallow whole. Worms, grubs, small chunks of meat, insects, or even small baitfish pieces all work. The fish must ingest it fully for the system to function. When a fish takes the bait, you do not jerk immediately. This is where patience separates success from failure. You allow the fish to swim away and swallow. As tension builds on the line, the straight stick rotates sideways inside the fish's throat or stomach. Once it turns perpendicular to the line, it lodges firmly against the internal walls. At that moment, steady pressure secures the catch. This method relies on simple mechanics: rotation under tension. There are no barbs, no metal points, just leverage. It's surprisingly effective, especially for medium-sized fish that strike aggressively. However, timing is everything. Pull too soon and the hook won't rotate. Wait too long and the fish may spit the bait. The gorge hook isn't designed for catch and release. It's a survival tool meant for one purpose: securing food when resources are limited. It requires minimal materials, no manufactured parts, and can be rebuilt repeatedly if lost. In an environment where gear can break, rust, or disappear, the ability to create your own functional hook from natural materials becomes a major advantage. In survival, adaptability matters more than equipment. The gorge hook proves that even without modern tools, understanding basic physics and fish behavior can turn a carved stick into a reliable food source. Method 3. The rock weir trap. Most civilians think fishing requires chasing fish, casting, reeling, moving constantly. In survival, that mindset wastes energy. The rock weir trap flips the strategy completely. Instead of hunting the fish, you guide them. You let the current do the work, while you conserve strength for more critical tasks like shelter and fire. This method has fed tribes for thousands of years, and it's still taught in survival training because of one reason: it's efficient. A rock weir works best in shallow, narrow sections of a stream, where water naturally funnels through tighter channels. You're looking for moving water no deeper than knee-height, with a steady but not overpowering current. Once you find that section, begin collecting rocks from the surrounding area. Flat, heavy stones are ideal because they stack more securely and reduce gaps. Build your trap in a wide V shape, pointing downstream. The open end of the V faces upstream, and the narrow point faces downstream. Leave a small gap, just wide enough for fish to pass through at the narrow end. The idea is simple. Fish naturally travel with or against the current, depending on species and conditions. As they move downstream, the angled rock walls gradually guide them toward that narrow opening. Behind the small opening, create a shallow holding pocket using additional rocks. This pocket should slow the water slightly. Once fish pass through the narrow gap, they enter calmer water and often struggle to find their way back against the current and through the tight entrance. The narrowing design creates confusion and containment without requiring constant supervision. Construction is the most energy-intensive part, but once built, the trap becomes a passive food system. You can check it periodically rather than standing there all day. In survival, that's critical. Every minute spent doing nothing but watching water is wasted opportunity elsewhere. Placement matters. Avoid areas with extremely strong current because fish will avoid them. Look for transitions where deeper water feeds into shallow sections or where natural bends already concentrate movement. The more natural your trap blends into the environment, the more effective it becomes. One important detail: seal as many gaps between rocks as possible. Fish will exploit weak points. Smaller stones and mud can be used to reinforce cracks. The tighter your funnel walls, the more reliable your results. The rock weir doesn't rely on bait, scent, or hooks. It relies on behavior and water flow. It turns the environment itself into a harvesting tool. And in a real survival situation, that's the ultimate advantage. Building systems that keep working even when you're not. Today wasn't about fancy gear or weekend fishing trips. It was about survival. We broke down 3 powerful methods: the bottle funnel trap that catches fish while you conserve energy, the gorge hook that works even when you don't have a single piece of metal, and the rock weir trap that turns moving water into a passive food system. These aren't tricks. They're survival strategies designed around one rule: gain more calories than you burn. That's the mindset shift most civilians never learn. Stop chasing fish. Start building systems. When you understand behavior, current, and positioning, you don't need a tackle shop. You need awareness and patience. If this opened your eyes, make sure you subscribe to Hidden Fishing right now. This channel is about uncovering the skills people overlook and the techniques most don't talk about. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and become part of the community that wants to fish smarter, not harder. And I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me which of the 3 methods you'd trust in a real survival situation. Bottle trap, gorge hook, or rock weir? Your support pushes this channel forward and keeps these survival skills alive. Stay ready, stay dangerous. I'll see you in the next one.